Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. And I know it's not a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Saturday, and yet here I am. Well, I have a super special announcement to make. Many of you already know, you've looked at my subscriber count, you see what has happened, but I am here to share with you and say thank you. And me being me, Stacy being Stacy, and if you've followed me for any length of time, you know I'm all about stories. I have a story to share with you, and it means the most to me that you allow me to be me. So, before we get to all the Wahoooo Kachoos and the yays, I want to share a story about my mom with you. Now, we all have memories. We all have things from the past that we hold dear, we hold close to our heart. We tend to catalog those memories so that when we need them, we pull them out to use them. Sometimes it's a memory of encouragement where you were lifted up and maybe you need to be lifted up in that moment to say, "You've got this, you go, girl." Or maybe it's a memory that comforts you through some sadness. But we all have those memories. And when I hit 1 million YouTube subscribers yesterday, it was clear and clean and decisive. The memory that came to me was my mom. I didn't sit down to think about what memory do I want to recall. It just happened. I saw it tick over, and all of a sudden I heard these words in my head. There are moments that you remember all your life. There are moments you wait for and dream of all your life. This is one of those moments. Now, for anybody who's a Barbra Streisand fan, you know that's the opening line to one of her songs from Yentl. And that song just came so to me. It was what I heard in that moment. There are moments you remember all your life. There are moments you wait for and dream of all your life. This is one of those moments. Now, when I was growing up, I'm 55, going to be 56. So let's remember, there were no cell phones, there was no internet, nothing like that. But when I was growing up, my mom loved Barbra Streisand her whole life, her entire life. Barbra Streisand, Neil Diamond, Barry Manilow, loved them. And growing up, once my mom graduated out of the Volkswagen Squareback, she got herself a Zoom Zoom car. She got a 1978 Camaro T-top. They don't even make T-tops anymore. You ask somebody do you know what a T-top car is? They have no clue. But my mom had a Camaro T-top, and it had a cassette player. The first time we ever had a car that had something more than a radio. And with the Volkswagen Squareback, you were lucky to get anything in tune, let me tell you. So she had all of Barbra's cassettes, all of them. And me being me, the way I learn best is by music. If you were to put anything to a tune, I can remember it. So I knew all of Barbra's songs. And to this day, you can probably throw most Barbra songs out there to me. And if I don't know all the words by heart, I know the majority of them on demand. Same with Disney. You ask me Disney, on demand, I can sing that song. So growing up, Barbra Streisand and my mom and I, we'd go down to see my grandma, Barbra Streisand's cassettes, and that's how I learned to sing all the songs. So jump forward, and I'm 22 years old, and Barbra Streisand comes to Los Angeles. She comes to Anaheim for her farewell concert. And I'm like, I've got to take my mother to see that concert. I have got to get away to take my mom to see that concert. So I called Ticketmaster. Again, no internet. You didn't do your tickets through StubHub or online. You either went to a Ticketmaster facility that was inside Tower Records, or you called them. So I asked, what are the cheapest seats to see Barbra in Anaheim on this date? and it was $450 a ticket. This is over 25 years ago. This is a lot of money. We were paying $500 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. My things have changed. This was 2 months of home payments to see Barbra Streisand. But I saved and I skimped and I bought the tickets. And when I gave them to my mom, it was a moment. It was an adulting moment. I wasn't a young kid anymore. I was able to do something that she would have never done for herself. And she opened up the box, because you got tickets back then. Again, no phones, no QR codes where they zap your phone to get into the concert. You had actual paper tickets. When she saw the tickets, she just looked at me and I said, "We're gonna go see Barbra." Now, I had booked a room in Anaheim because we live about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Anaheim. So you could get a hotel room in Anaheim for about $50. Wasn't the nicest hotel, but that's okay. We had a place to sleep. And we went down there early in the day because we were gonna get all gussied up to see Barbra. I mean, there were people in tuxedos and movie stars, and the first several rows, it was like a who's who of movie stars down there. So you get gussied up to go. And in my mom's era, when a little girl, or when families would go out, the little girls and boys were dressed. My mom would wear gloves and a hat and Mary Janes and little socks. You went out to be presented. And so for this event, she had gone and bought a brand new dress. She splurged on a brand new dress. So we get down to the hotel room and we get checked in. We lay down for a little bit. It's time to get ready now. And I open my suitcase and there are my stiletto high heels, because I am 22 and I can get away with it at 22. There are my pantyhose still in the egg that I bought them in. There's my jacket. But where's my shirt and my skirt? In my excitement, I forgot to pack my shirt and my skirt. All I had were my jeans, my sneakers, and my t-shirt. Now, my mom had bought a new dress. And when she saw what I had done and the mortified look on my face, no way to get home in time, no way to get there and back and still make the concert, she said, "Well, we're seeing Barbra in jeans." And I don't think I appreciated how much then as I do now. She had bought the new dress, and it didn't even for a second dawn on her to not wear her jeans and her sneakers with me. So we show up to the Barbra concert, and yes, people are looking beautiful. We sit all the way back. We are 3 rows from the top of the concert. You felt like you could touch the roof, but we were in the door. And I said, "Mom, she's gonna be this big, but we'll be able to hear her voice right there." Now, I hadn't been to a concert really before. I'd been to live theater, but not a concert. I didn't know that they would have big screens above her. Not a Jumbotron. They didn't have that back then, I don't think. But big screens so that people way in the back like me could see her, because otherwise she really was this big. And so she'd be singing, but we could watch the big screen to see her. And at one point, she started a song from Yentl. And the words are, "There are moments you remember all your life. There are moments you remember all your life. There are moments you wait for and dream of all your life. This is one of those moments." That's the words, the 3 lines to one of her songs from Yentl. I'm trying to, I can hear it. I want to sing it I can hear it in my head. There are moments you remember all your life. There are moments you wait for and dream of all your life. This is one of those moments. And Barbra was down on the stage, and above on the screen, they had the movie of Yentl playing in the exact place where she's singing it. The movie is playing with her singing, and Barbra is down on stage in perfect harmony with herself, singing the song at the same time as the movie, and it was sheer magic. It took my breath away. And when I looked over at my mom, she had tears in her eyes. It was a moment that she would never forget, a moment she had waited for and dreamt of all her life. And this was one of her moments. So we had this amazing time, and we went back and to our hotel room and went home the next day. And you know, I guess where I'm going with this is that we all have moments that we carry. And when I started these YouTubes, it was back in 2010 in November. And it's me, the YouTube is still there, you can still watch it. It's me holding a video camera for the first time that my husband and I bought at Sears on a Black Friday sale. And I talked to my mom and I said, Mom, there's this thing called YouTube and they're doing this. Do you think I should give it a try? And she's like, yeah, I think you should give it a try. I said, but I have to talk into a video camera. I've never held a camera before. You know, Sears has got this one for $200. She's like, I think you should go get it. I think you should give it a try. What can it hurt? What can it hurt? That was my mom. What can it hurt? So you can go back to that very first video. It's very short. Me saying, I don't know what I'm doing, and we're going to try this and see what happens. To today, 800 videos later, videos, shorts, and everything in between. From my son, you've listened to every single story. You've let me be me without changing me. You've let me be exactly who I am, not a persona of what you think I should be or what I think I should be, but truly who I am. I got to share with you stories like my son, Michael, when he was in elementary school and he had a rough year and he wrote a letter to Santa Claus and all he asked for Christmas was a do-over. That's what he wanted for Christmas, a do-over. So Santa brought him a do-over certificate. You were with me when I told you about the time my dad and I, we would go to Oregon and Washington. We'd spend my summers up there. He'd take me with him on vacation, and that's where we'd spend our summers, going to see his relatives up there. And my dad, after my mom got her Camaro, my dad had to have one too. And we're on the 5 freeway, which is straight. It's just absolutely straight. It's the most boring road driving up to Oregon and Washington as you can possibly imagine. And my dad had a little bit of a heavy foot, new Camaro, and the police officer got on his intercom and said, "Cowboy, slow that horse down." My dad had a license plate. It was Cowboy 4 because he had 4 kids. So before the lights and sirens came on to write my dad a ticket, the police officer came on, "Cowboy, slow that horse down." You let me share that story. Or the time where I learned that my parents backdated their marriage. I guess my sister, they backdated it so that my sister looked like she was on time, like my parents had been married for 10 months. But I didn't know that. So when I got married in my mom's engagement, my mom had a gold wedding band that my dad gave her. I got married in my mother's gold wedding band. And I had my name and Michael's name engraved with our wedding date. But I also had my mother and my father's names engraved with what I thought was their wedding date. I even showed you the gold band. I held it up so you could read it. I didn't know till I was in my 30s when I talked to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, your anniversary with Mom's coming up soon." And he's like, "No, it's not." I'm, "Dad, it's on your birthday. Remember you got married on your birthday?" He's like, No, we didn't." I'm like, "Dad," and he's like, "Do not tell your mother you know." That's how I found out my parents backdated their wedding date And it was too late. It was already in my wedding band. There was no changing it. It is what it is. You were with me through my parents living with me as they went through Alzheimer's and depression. And you were with me through Michael going through open heart surgery and a stroke and our house burning down. But you were also with me for all of the paper crafting and the new supplies and the teaching. You were with me for the moments we got to celebrate when my kids finally had a silver play button. All they wanted from me, Mom, just 100,000. That's all you have to get a silver play button. I thought a silver play button was like a little icon they put by your name. Oh no, it's a thing that YouTube sends you. And my kids being kids, that was so cool. In that moment that I had that, I was cool in my kids' eyes. And for a mom with teenagers, that's something to be cool for just a moment. You were with me, like I said, when our house burned down and all my snow globes. My mom collected snow globes and I lost them all. And you sent me snow globes, some of them out of your own personal collection, some of them brand new. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, all of those things. When my mom helped me through one of the hardest times I've ever been through in my life, when I was 17 years old. This is a kaleidoscope. And there's a whole mess of them behind me. You all wanted to know the story of the kaleidoscope. So in YouTube number 119, I told you the story. And it all has to do with just moving the marble. And what do you see, Stacy? And every time you move the marble, the image changes. So when life gets tough, just remember, move the marble and things will change. Nothing will stay the same, not always, and that I would heal in time. YouTube number 119 is not an easy video to watch. It is not. I have never watched it back. And yet you let me share it with you in a safe space where I could tell you my story and hopefully have it help somebody else. And you were with me when I finally had enough courage to open my mom's safety deposit box years after she passed. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But then I opened it at just the right time and I found a thimble. Now it may just be a thimble to you, but it was passed down from my great-grandmother to my grandmother to my mom to me. And while it is just a thimble to some, it is a symbol of courage and bravery and believing in yourself and taking risks. And it happened right before I decided to sign with Sizzix as a licensed designer when I wasn't sure whether I should or not. You've been through all of it with me, the good and the bad and the exciting and some moments that we've all cried through together. The loss of SMS girl Yvette. When we had to say goodbye to Yvette, who made the do-over certificate for Michael. So 1 million subscribers, 1 million of you. We started with 1, then there was 2, then there was 3. Now there's 1 million of you. And I hold you in my heart. And I am so grateful and so blessed and have so much gratitude for all of you because you are my family. You are the place where I come every week to play and to share and to teach and to learn from. Our community that we have here with all of us is amazing. We support each other and we lift each other up when we need to be lifted up and we console each other when we need to. And you see that in our live chats and the things that I see behind the scenes where customers will send a little gift. They'll call us up and say, I'd like to buy this product for this customer. She's having a hard time. can I do that? And we get it done. Who does that anymore? Good people do that. So this paper crafting community that I didn't know what was going to happen when I first started without that inexpensive $200 Sony Handycam has helped me become the person I am today. You've helped me become this person. And you didn't ask anything in return except for I just be me. So, my boys are so excited. I get a gold play button this time. Now, the next time I can get an award from YouTube, I have to be at 10 million. I told James, maybe you'll take over my YouTube channel and you can go for the 10 million. But my boys and my husband are proud and I'm excited, and it's something that is a shared effort. It isn't just me, it's us. So thank you. Thank you for trusting in me and believing in me and letting me be me. And thank you for being here week after week, video after video, story after story. And there's a line at the end of one of Barbra's songs in Yentl. And it says, Papa, watch me fly. Well, I'm going to be 56 years old, and I think I got a lot of flying left to do. So, Papa, you watch me fly, because I've got the best people right underneath my wings. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for this amazing accomplishment. I share it with you, and I am so glad to have you. All right, everybody. Bye. It's me, Stacy. Scrapbooking Made Simple. Bye, everybody.